What's going on, guys? Mystic Prun here, and whatever number this is, Trackday Heroes. Or Trackday 0 as it's been recently. Big things, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know where to start. I really thought I knew what I wanted to say until I clicked the record button. I guess we'll start from Dali. That'll be the best way to do it. So if you remember back to the previous episode, which was recorded ages ago but only gone up on Monday, I had the issue where the fuel pump didn't prime and the bike didn't fire. I initially thought it was this system here, the HIS system, Honda Integrated Security System, the immobilizer. That's a known fault, and that would cause the exact same issues. I looked at ways of replacing that. In the meantime, I went through the entire wiring loom, all the way around, entire wiring loom. I took off all the tape, took off every part of it. Found a few breaks in it. There are a few breaks, so I redid those connections, taped it all back up, and the bike started. Yes, so the bike started. It had been running for a good couple of weeks. Obviously, there was no action on at this time because some Chinese guy ate a bat and gave everybody a deadly disease. So there was no action on, so there wasn't a big rush with it. So track action is started again now, which is why last month when it was announced it was going to be starting again, I booked a track day. That's right. Prun's actually going out on track, hopefully. So, I booked the track day. The bike was running, sounds sweet as a nut. So I booked the track day, got the van sorted, the rental van that is, and the next day it happened again. The bike didn't start, and I had a month to the track day to get it sorted. So what did I do? Because it quite clearly wasn't those wires that I found. So I loaded up the parts cannon and I just aimed and fired. So up here we've got a brand new ECU. This is a US spec ECU. Not because this one's broken, but because the US spec doesn't have this integrated system on it, so you can just switch it over. Put a US spec loom in there, cut some wires together to avoid the electrics settings in there, and it'll go around the immobilizer. So, if I can remember where I put it, we also have, I think it might be over here somewhere. Somewhere there is a new wiring loom as well, because I thought I'd missed some wires. You know, when I was doing this stuff. So I thought I'd missed some wires. So, yeah, So, yeah. Anyway, thought I'd missed some wires, so I got a new loom as well. We took the entire loom apart again. There were no breaks that I could see. Prior to this, the first time it had gone, I had tested everything. So I tested all the relays, all the fuses. I'd actually tested the immobilizer, that was getting the right values. Kill switch was getting the right values. All the relays around here, like I said, were getting the right values. We've got the solenoid, start solenoid under here was getting all the right values. Everything was working as intended. The new camshaft sensor, which I put in, was getting the right values. So, down here, it was all working as intended. There was no reason why it shouldn't have started. So, I'd spent ages on CBR forums and all that good stuff, just looking for what it could be. They all mentioned the HIS system here. They all mentioned this little badger in here, the bank angle sensor, which was replaced on this bike, which I believe was an attempt to cure the problem it had, but it didn't work. So that was giving out all the correct values as well. So anyway, I found this website and it says the top 6 symptoms. And basically I was reading through these top 6 symptoms, and this bike had 4 of those 6 symptoms. And that was this little badger down here somewhere, down there. That's the crankshaft position sensor. That will stop it running, basically. So the old one is somewhere in here. Here's the old one. I ordered one, came rather nice and quickly, actually. Doesn't look in too bad a nick. I did get a multimeter on it, and I got some results back. They were intermittent. Like, I tested it once and I got one set of results. I tested it again, I got another set. Now, because of the way these work, it should give you on the multimeter a result of, I think it says between 2.5 to 5 volts, because it alternates. However, I got that on one test, then I tested it again about an hour later and I got 1 volt, which shows that this is intermittent, basically, this little sensor here. So I'm going to keep it and give it a clean. But anyway, that sensor there, I put that on, reseal the cover. You have to take off these 8 mils. These 8 mils all the way around here. My camera work is doing amazing right here. Basically, I have to take off the 8 mils, take off, obviously I needed to undo that lock wire. So take off the clutch, basically by, you ping off this 8 mil down here, fold that around. After you've taken off all the 8 mils there, basically use that, you turn it round and it pulls it off. So I cleaned up all the sealant, put the new crank sensor in, put it back on. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Does that work? Is that any better? Ah, that looks a bit better. So yeah, I did all that, put that back on, and put it all back together. Clutch works a treat still, as you can see. And I thought, well, I initially planned to do that, and then I planned to put the ECU on, but I thought, you know what, I'll try it. So I tried it, turned the ignition on, kill switch to run, the bike primed, and fired instantly, pretty much. At which point I was just like, oh. So after like 3 weeks of frantic parts buying and eBay shopping and everything like that, the bike ran and is ready, basically. Touch wood, that has sorted the issue. Touch wood. I hope it has. It's not repeated the same issue again, but if it does, I've got a secondary plan up there. Other things that have been done to the bike. If we go and have a look down the back brake, you can see I've moved the spacer. The gap between the disc and that metal bracket there is much bigger now. That's much better. I also got a bit bored and I painted the logos on the tyres because, you know, that looks cool. If we look under here, gone is that ghastly rain light. I actually found a bicycle LED light here, which is what this is. Basically, when it's raining, I just hold that down, turn that on. It's LED, it's legal, it's very easy to see, so that works. Just hold it down to turn it off. How did I do that? Well, it's basically one of those holders that like has a holder on the back that clips in, and then you just slide it onto that holder there. Now, I wasn't too pleased with that because obviously it's sliding about, so what I did is I got a really, really small self-tapper, and I just tapped the back end. So I just tapped the plastic mounts. You can probably see it better from this side. Let's have a look. Yep, so these plastic mounts here, I just tapped that to the actual light itself, and then there's a mounting option. So basically I tapped it to the light itself, then it can't come off. And then there's a mounting option, this bracket here for the rear master, not the master cylinder, the rear brake reservoir. I just put a longer bolt through and I just simply bolted it to that. And as you can see, it's not going anywhere. Now if I need to change the batteries, I just simply pop off the front lens and put in 2 more AAAs. So you need to make sure you have the, I don't know if you can see, you can just about see the self-tapper, I think. Yeah, you can just see the self-tapper in there. You gotta make sure that the self-tapper is small, because I found 4 bicycle lights and I wrecked 3 of them. Because the self-tapper was too long and it went into the circuit board. So you gotta make sure that the self-tapper is just the right length. And that bolt there is actually keeping the self-tapper in as well, so it's not gonna go anywhere. Other things that have been done on a slightly less necessary note is these. These are new grips. They are Renthal 32s with a soft and hard, so they are dual compound. They're a bit thicker for my lanky ass hands. They feel a bit better. That sort of thing, it feels much better. So the fairing, that's the fairing over there. And there's a bit more in there. I actually do have a new fairing. I bought a new fairing when the bike was running, obviously, because I wasn't going to spend all that money on something when it wasn't running. And I sent it away to get painted. I'm not happy with the painters. They've taken the piss a bit, really. I go with the people who we use at work, and generally they're really good, but they've taken the piss. So I don't have a mudguard, because that is the only piece. The mudguard is the only piece of the old fairing that's being reused, so I don't have that. But you don't need that for a track day. I don't even think you need that for racing, to be honest with you. But it's something I would have liked. Might get a spare one. Won't be on for the track day, I do not think. But either way, I'm not putting the new fairing on for the track day, because knowing my luck, I'll smash it into a tree, and yeah, no point, basically. So that's happened. This stupid thing had to come off when we were putting the new grips on, and that bolt is properly chewed up. I really could have done with a new bolt in there, but to be honest, it's Loctited in to the point where it's not coming off again. It's nice and secure. That grip's nice and secure. The switch gear, as you can see, it's falling apart a bit. Still works, no issues. Not going to bother changing it. What the issue is inside is there's a pin generally. There's a hole in the clip-on generally, and there's a pin that sits in that hole. And what that does then is it aligns that and stops it spinning, basically. However, that pin was filed down and a piece of rubber was put in to stop it turning, basically. So basically what's happened is, and these clip-ons don't have that hole, basically. So these are aftermarket clip-ons, and someone's done a hurry change and shoved that over, and they've just filed down the pin so they don't have to worry about drilling and aligning. It's a rough job, but then again, looking at the state of the tank, I'm not really surprised. What else have I done? That's about it. Except for this one big thing that I wanted to do from the get-go, and I finally did. I bought it when the bike was running. I've only just fit it. It seems to work perfectly. This thing here, that little widget there, that is a quick shifter. I intend to change this over so it's a reverse shifting unit. So basically at the minute it's 1 down, 5 up. I intend to put it so it's 1 up, 5 down, but at the minute that's not a big deal. The quick shifter is just going to help, basically. It's just going to help a lot. So that's that. Nice quick shifter. It's a Heel-Tech quick shifter, so it's fully adjustable Bluetooth on my phone. As you can see, the coils, I don't know if you can just see that in there, but it's basically got, I bought it, it's specifically made for this bike. It comes with a wiring kit that's specifically for this bike, so everything just plugs in and plays. It's grounded under this mess here. Hopefully the fairings fit over that, but if not, we can readjust. It's all routed, all nicely under the seat and cable tied and stuff like that. So the bike's ready to go. Got the fairing over there to go on. And over there to go on. The fairing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Dremel down a little U shape under here, so I've got plenty of room for my hands. That side's not too bad because the bike's bent as fuck, really. The fairing's old as hell, but hopefully the new fairing won't need any of that, and we can just adjust the fitments. So still to do, I've got to check the tyre pressures front and back, and of my wets over there. I'm going to take my spur set of wets, because they have a tyre machine so they can switch them over, so I'm going to do that potentially, because it is forecast rain for the track day, which is on Friday the 26th. So I'm getting out on track, hopefully my local track, Three Sisters. So fingers crossed that works well. The bike's gonna be there. It's on stock settings. Basically what we did is I've got the Haynes manual over there. If we have a look in here. Where's the suspension? That's the most visited page, the electronics. If we go to suspension, 525. So let's scroll through to 525. Basically what we did what we did here, there you go. What we did is we basically put the entire suspension, it had been set up slightly for the previous rider, but we actually found that the rear wasn't sagging at all. There was no sag on the rear. You put it down and it just didn't go anywhere, and you tried to lift the back up and it was just lifting the back off the ground. Like it was already topped out basically. The fronts have had K-Tech internals, so they were done a bit as well, but what we did was we basically got the Honda, the book, and we basically just reset everything to the Honda standard specification. So it's got a bog standard setup on the suspension wise. Don't need to fiddle with anything else, just leave it like that and run it like that. That is the only other thing I've done to this bike aside from get it running. This is a long ass video of me waffling, Jesus. So long story short, crankshaft sensor was fucked, replaced, new grips, new quick shifter, fixed the rear brake distance between that and the bracket, painted wheels pointlessly, got new fairings, not been delivered yet, mudguard is gone, everything's ready to go. Oh, the only other thing down here, don't know if we can see that there, that is a titanium lock-wired sump plug. So hopefully this is all lock-wired to spec now, so this is eligible for a race meet, basically, with all this lock wire on it, hopefully. But I do plan to put a bit more on it every now and then. So anyway, getting off track. That's that. See, oh my god, I filled it up. It's got a full tank of fuel because let's be real here, the limiting factor as to how that bike goes is not going to be the 20 litres in the tank, or however many litres it's got left after it's half lost, well, those dents. It's going to be the nutcase that's hopefully on the seat. I do have a not brand new, but a full 20 litre jerry can of fuel. I probably won't need that much. In fact, I'm pretty sure I won't. But it's better to have it and not use it, is my theory. So the only last thing I've got to do, like I say, is Dremel out the fairings. I'm going to Dremel out the scoop for the handlebar on the left side of the fairing, if I come over here. So on the left side of the fairing, I'm going to Dremel out the scoop. And that flat bit there, it does nothing, so I'm just going to take that off. Then we can get the front pellet stand under here. Tomorrow's job, that'll be tomorrow's job. Then I've got to pack, basically. Pack everything, sort everything out, pack everything up. And get everything prepped for when we pick the van up on Thursday. So I'm hoping they said them. They said that the fairing should be done before Friday, but we'll see. I'm not holding out for it. I kind of like the fact that this isn't straight as well. That's grown on me. So that's where we're at. We're doing a track day. It's Monday now, so the delayed Darley video will be going up now. This will be going up on the Wednesday, so in 2 days after you've seen this video, I will be out on track. I will have the Verb on the back, the camera on the back for some of the... I'll have the camera on the back for, you know, some onboard footage. No promises that it'll be any good because I'm an absolutely inept human being. But yeah, that's where we're at. I'm looking forward to it. It's open pit lane, so we've got basically just like a test day, 6 hours of just hooling around. I'm terrified because this is a 120 brake horsepower motorbike. I've got no experience and it's a go-kart track, so I'm terrified, especially when there's going to be people there that are testing for the races later this year. The racing at Darley at the end of the year is pretty much gone out the window now. It's not going to be a race this year. I'm going to race at Three Sisters next year, hopefully, and Darley next year, hopefully. Also planning on Aintree. I'm hoping that's getting back underway, but if that's back underway, I will be racing at Aintree as well. So that's the plans. Those are the plans. Next year, big year. I've got to make sure I've got a van and transport first, though. So now everything's bought, I think I can pretty much just settle down in getting the transport sorted, because renting a van isn't ideal. My dad, in typical dad fashion, has decided to get a race bike as well. So He's decided that 10 years off racing was all for nothing, and is getting his own little SV. Makes me laugh. So might have some lad and dad videos soon on track. Anyway, maybe, depends if I can persuade him to get an onboard camera. He doesn't even like quick shifters. Then I'm not sure he'd have an onboard camera on, but we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting to watch him whoop my ass on a SV that's 10 years older than even this bike, and yeah. Ah well, that's it. I hope that made sense. It probably didn't, but I don't care. It's going, it's sent, it's gone, I've been pruned. Bye? Maybe? Is that it? I don't know, I'm trying to think. Oh well, I guess I can tell you. Paint scheme on the new fairing is going to be all black, like Curtis Roberts' old AMA CBR. We've got silver and red Honda logos down the side because it looks cool. That's that. I've been pruned. See you later.